One, welcome. Happy full moon in Pisces. I hope you're having a good one. I'm feeling a little bit drained right now. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's because of all my Pisces placements are getting triggered right now. I've got Moon in Pisces, Jupiter in Pisces, Black Moon Lilith in Pisces, Venus in Pisces. Some of you might be getting triggered differently. Hopefully you can hear me. Sorry about the wind. Yeah, some of you might be getting triggered differently where you're having sleep problems. And I've definitely been hearing people online talking about how, the days before and after a full moon, they just have trouble sleeping. And definitely, when we're talking about Pisces, I can absolutely see how sleep issues or energy levels could be impacted. And let me adjust this because for some reason this tripod is just sinking as I'm talking. Okay. Hopefully it'll stop doing that. I'm gonna have to figure that out, why it keeps doing that. Maybe it's getting old and worn out. Okay, so anyway, I want to talk to you about this briefly, share some things with you just generally, and then I am actually going to pull cards for each of the signs because I know a lot of you really are into that. You love that stuff, right? And then if you stay to the end, I'm going to have a spiritual homework assignment for you. Hopefully do it tonight on the 20th, the night of the full moon. Or, as soon as you can, as soon as you watch the video. On the topic of the sleeping issues, let me say this. I'm sleeping like a baby. I'm not having any problems at all because let me share with you what I do to ensure that I get sleep. As somebody who has, for years, dealt with insomnia, even, last year I had Mars in my 12th house for 5 months. God help me. See, it's sagging again. Let me see if I can tighten this up. Of all times for this to happen, I apologize. So, okay, I've dealt with a lot of insomnia in my life, and so I will show you what I do. I usually before I go to bed at night, I take a tablespoon of this. No, this company's not giving me they're not sponsoring me. I'm telling you, I honestly use this stuff. This is calcium, magnesium, plant-based. You want to make sure you get plant-based, not rock-based, because we don't like calcium deposits, right? We want something like this that's easily absorbed and processed by the body. And that's going to help you. It's a natural muscle relaxer. It's going to help you go to sleep at night. If you're having trouble doing that, then melatonin, this is the latest thing that I have, which is like a time release, and I double up on it. You got to be careful with the melatonin because at least I do, I'll build up a resistance over time. So, I don't abuse it. Just use it when you need it. And if you feel that you're no longer responsive to it, you need to back off of it. Some people say they're not responsive at all to melatonin. So, and then if you're dealing with any pain, like I've been dealing with pain, and sometimes that interferes with my ability to go to sleep at night, I use this MSM powder, and I get it over at Natural Grocers for like $5. It's so cheap. And then that helps you at night, to deal if you have any discomfort in your body or pain that is interfering with you going to sleep, then by all means, use that. So I'm trying to figure out what the heck is wrong with this tripod, because I don't want to, when I'm doing the cards for y'all, which I will be doing shortly, I don't want this thing to be sagging. I don't want to keep fighting it because I need to have my hands free. Okay. So that's my little spiel on if you're having trouble with this full moon, getting sleep, that's what I do. And like last night, I slept like a baby. But now the energy issue, wow, I don't know what to advise on that. I mean, because me personally, I've, you know, slept well. I've been eating well. There's absolutely no reason for me to be feeling drained right now other than the energy. Okay, so self-care, take care of yourself with this lunar energy. All right, and let's, and oh, one last thing I forgot to mention, the EMF, the electromagnetic frequencies that your phone's giving off, we got like 5G, these help, these little pyramids. EMF pyramids, I have one of these by my bed, and I store my camera, my phone, I should say, away, like in the drawer of my nightstand to kind of help guard me from those EMF frequencies. Other than that, I don't know what else to say. This too shall pass, right? How about that? It's an energy, it's going to pass. And, you know, getting more specific into the energy right now, as many of you know, we do have the sun currently in Virgo, which is opposing this moon in Pisces. So there's a lot of this energy of the mundane versus the spiritual, the ethereal realm. And, you know, what's practical versus maybe the ideals, okay? And so, you know, me personally, all this Virgo energy has been putting an emphasis on, you know, health matters in my life, my pets, and depending on where it's hitting in your chart, which we'll talk about in a moment when we go sign by sign, it's lighting up different areas of your life. It's forcing you to put attention on the practicalities of what's going on, and then you bring this lunar activity into the mix. There's definitely a spiritual component to it, and again, where the moon is in your chart is really highlighting where all this emotion and spirituality is. Full moons are about releases, by the way, just to say it in the most simple way. There's something that needs to be released right now, and if you look at your natal chart and see where exactly this moon is transiting, it will tell you, it will guide you more into knowing what it is, what area of your life you're needing to do that release work. Now, as I mentioned before, because I put out a video on the new moon in Virgo, okay, a couple weeks ago. So if you missed that, I'll have the link for it at the very end of this video. Just stay tuned to the end and you can click onto that. But you know, in that video, I talked about all the energy for September. And, you know, I talked about how it's affecting us collectively and how as we get further into this month of September, we're shifting from a lot of Virgo energy into a lot of Libra energy where, you know, the focus is going from maybe health, the practicalities, the mundane, pets even, to relationships. And definitely when, you know, 3 days from now on the 23rd, when the sun goes into Libra, we're just definitely going to see that ramping up. So yeah, I talked to you earlier in this video about the sleep issues, and in my other video that I put out with that new moon in Virgo, I talked to you about, you know, being mindful about your dream activity. And even the first, I'd say 5 minutes of you waking up in the morning, very telling, very, like, really tune into that type of stuff, because that's probably when you are closest or clearest to hearing from spirit. And so, yeah, even myself, I've been having a lot of dream activity. And if you're into dream interpretation, really good time to kind of dissect the meanings, the symbolic meanings of the dreams that you're having, because there might be some kind of subconscious issue rising to the surface, needing to be worked through and released. And I've definitely had it. I mean, we're, by the way, you know, as I said in the previous astrological video I put out, we are in Mercury retrograde shadow. Okay, we won't be in Mercury retrograde until I believe the 27th. Yeah. And it'll be in Libra, having to do with relationships. So already, some of you may have noticed, as have I, you know, dream activity, not just dream activity about relationships, but even people from the past coming back and trying to talk to you, and maybe trying to reconcile and work through things, which again could go, you know, it could go a number of ways, right? You have to decide. You have to use your own discernment about what you want to do with those situations. Because of Jupiter trining Mercury, that we're coming into that, and you know, Jupiter in Pisces as of today, there is optimism, there is idealism, and maybe hopefulness and wishful thinking about relationships and people smoothing things over, and maybe being compassionate and kind, or extending themselves quite generously and lovingly and all of that. And again, there might be some kind of romanization, am I saying that right? Romanticism. There we go, there's the word. There's some romanticism, even in like family relationships, over idealizing that, you know, oh, the person's saying the right things, or they're being so nice to me, but you know, but then you gotta, right, here's the Virgo aspect. But are they doing what you need in order to feel that this is something worth investing in further, or revisiting, you know? And so it's interesting, as people are coming back, and maybe you're looking back and reevaluating relationships or issues from the past involving people, maybe even contracts, okay? Business partnerships, perhaps, for some of you. You really got to ask yourself, okay, but is this like grounded? Is this practical? Is this going to really work out? Is this what I value? Are they giving me what I value? Or does it just sound good and look good, and I hope it's good, but the tangibles aren't there? It's all pie in the sky, but you know what I'm saying? So I'm hearing testing. It's a testing ground, okay? So whoever's coming up, you know, in your dream activity, or coming back from your past, there's some kind of testing ground of, you know, they might pass the I don't know, the visual test. It looks good on the surface, but do they pass the sniff test, okay, for lack of better wording? Or are still things, you know, that are there still issues there that are unresolved and will never be resolved because there are some irreconcilable differences, you know, not sharing values, and that can't be fixed or changed. You just need to lovingly go your separate ways, type of thing, okay? Also, like I said, pay attention to your waking hour. Like, I don't know why this morning when I woke up, I was thinking of this couple that I knew for a very brief time in my life. And I actually didn't know them very deeply. And I was thinking of them this morning, and I just kept thinking of them, and I'd put it out of my head and it'd come back again, and I'd put it out of my head and it'd come back again. And I thought, why am I thinking of these people? I wasn't really incredibly close to them. I don't know. I haven't even thought. I started thinking, wow, I have not thought of these people in, like, gosh, probably 7 years. You know, why am I thinking of these people? And so if you find yourself thinking of people that, you know, are way, way in your past, and you're like, why am I even thinking of this person? Just send up a prayer for them, okay? that it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to call them up and check on them. I mean, honestly, it'd be kind of weird if I did that, because they'd be like, who are you? I don't even really know these people. But we are so, with this lunar activity in Pisces, very spiritual sign, you could be, and it's particularly if it's triggering a lot of Pisces in your chart, as it is for me, it could make you very, very sensitive to things going on in the ethers, okay? And again, it doesn't mean that you need to go do anything about it other than send out a prayer or positive intention, or, you know, whatever you can put your faith and belief in. That is powerful. Okay. Also, with this lunar activity in Pisces, for me personally, I feel that issues of powerlessness and victimization might be brought up to your attention because of, well, that's you know, that comes with the territory of Pisces, and idealization and wishful thinking. And I will just say on a personal note, because I feel it's relevant to a lot of people watching me, particularly the younger you are in your relationships, I do find that many times, especially in our younger years, and I sometimes even now catch myself doing it, meeting somebody and projecting ideals onto them that I hope that this relationship is going to work out, or I hope that this is, you know, going to be the right person I've been looking for, my counterpart, my better half, blah, 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 you fill in the blank. And then when they don't live up to it, it's kind of, then you feel like you're victimized, but really you kind of set yourself up for it because you didn't really get to know this person. You just kind of projected onto them all of this hopeful, wishful thinking, which inevitably leaves you feeling victimized by your own ideals. And so just, again, be aware of that as we're going through so much Piscean energy now. Jupiter's, you know, in Pisces retrograde, and we have also the moon conjunct Neptune, which Neptune can be illusion, delusion, you know, and all this wishful thinking. And we've also got a lot of retrograde energy. So for some of you, it might not, for a lot of you, it might not necessarily be anything going on right now. But you reflecting back on these issues in your relationships where perhaps you felt victimized or disempowered by relationships, perhaps because you were projecting onto them some kind of idealization that just wasn't grounded in reality, Virgo, right? You know, just a, little side note. The homework assignment at the end that I hope you will join me for at the very end of this video, it ties into this. This is what we're going to work on in the homework assignment. Okay, so I want to pull some cards for the signs. And we'll go from Aries to Pisces. And I personally recommend that you look at your rising sign, okay? Because particularly when I bring up the astrology, your rising sign is probably going to be the most relevant. Hold on one second. I've got to go get that. Yeah, I had to go get that because I'm a believer in these cards that fly. Okay. All right, protection. That's what came out. And this is a collective, by the way. This is for everybody. Know that you are being protected right now. Look at that. I love this card because this is a person. If you look closely, it looks kind of from a distance like an egg in a nest, a basket, okay? but it is a person, all right? So I feel like that is just whatever is going on in your life, know that you are being protected. So let's start with Aries. And Aries right now, the moon is in your 12th house, the sun is in your 6th house. So a lot of this kind of Virgo and Pisces energy of the mundane versus the spiritual is being illuminated. And let me see, you know, if we can get any card to come out regarding what you need to release right now with this full moon in Pisces, what needs to be released for Aries. That was peeking out. I'll take it. You are good enough. And I don't know if you can see there at the bottom, it says full moon in Virgo. We had the new moon in Virgo. So, and don't let your past hold you back is at the foundation. Okay. So, you know, is there something in your past that you've been letting hold back? Well, you need to release that, okay? And you know what? I don't know why with this Virgo, I'm getting a hit on this might have to do with a health issue. This might have to do with your daily work and health habits. Might have to do with pets, okay? Might have to do with organizing, or you know, your living arrangement, your living space, your working space. It might also have to do with your job, your vocation, all right? What needs to be released is something from your past. And again, think back to that, even though that says full moon in Virgo, think back to what was going on with that new moon that we just had 2 weeks ago in Virgo. That might be something that is relevant for you that you need to release. I really feel with the 12th and the 6th house, and also given those cards, Aries, that I'm hearing overhaul. There's some kind of overhaul that, and I'm hearing mind, body, spirit is what you need to work on with your self-care, with your healing, okay? This is not just, you know, diet, exercise. This is also spiritual practices. All right, I'm going to move on to Taurus. And yes, Taurus risings. I'm a Taurus rising, so let's see what messages we get for Taurus and Taurus rising. This moon is impacting our 11th house. The sun has been in our 5th house, so y'all might have noticed, as have I, a lot of activity over the last month, highlighting 5th house stuff having to do with children, fun, creativity. For me, mostly children, okay? But now with this lunar activity, there's something having to be released in the 11th house, which is all things Aquarian, things having to do with friends, socializing, you know. Also wishes, ambitions is kind of a, you know, 11th house thing, and the internet as well. So we'll see what these cards have to say for Taurus. Taurus rising. Please show me what Taurus needs to release at this full moon in Pisces. Please show me. Show me. Okay, I'm feeling this in the back here. Take time to breathe out. Disseminating moon. I don't know. I'm feeling this tightness in here. And I'm hearing relax. Oh my God, I'm now hearing Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Relax. Don't do it. Oh my God, go watch that. I don't know, you know, I'm an 80s kid, but I haven't heard that song in so long. Relax. Don't do it. Let's see what this is. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Your dreams need a practical plan. Full moon in Taurus. All right. What a synchronicity. We are doing a card draw for Taurus, and there you are. There's the bull. Do not tip the bull. But do you really need to be told that your dreams need a practical plan? I mean, I wouldn't say so of Taurus, but if you're like me and you got a lot of Pisces in your chart, yeah, sometimes, I've even had my kids recently say, "Come on, mom," like, because I've been working on trying to heal my dog, which, by the way, I have a video coming out this week on that. But people have looked at me a little bit crazy, like I'm trying to help heal my dog, and they're like, "My God, you do know you can't make this dog live forever." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know that. I know that. I'm not to lunch." So I'm going to say this. Maybe you are being grounded, Taurus, but perhaps some people around you think you're not, because maybe you're trying to reach for the stars. But I'm going to go back to the astrology with this lunar activity hitting your 11th house. Maybe there are some pie in the sky dreams and wishes that you're having to release right now. I hate to say that, but it's just what I'm feeling led to say, okay? So let's move on to the next one, Gemini. And we've got the moon hitting your 10th house with the sun impacting your 4th house. So let's see, Gemini, is there something having to do with career, status, life purpose, destiny that you are having to release right now, as the sun has been illuminating issues having to do with home, family, sense of belonging, perhaps a mother or mother figure. 10th house can be a father figure, mother, father, like nurturing versus disciplinarian, these kind of energies coming up for you. Well, this is saying confidence is your key to success. And we just got out of Leo energy, and so was there something significant that happened during, the time when we were in Leo, during Leo energy? The sun was in Leo. That was what, about a month and a half, 2 months ago, roughly, okay? At the foundation, communication is key, and look at that, another synchronicity, new moon in Gemini. Well, I mean, you're an air sign, right? You can communicate. And so for some reason, this is going to be key, is using that giftedness that you naturally have in communications to advance something having to do with, your public life versus your private life. Because again, something probably going on with your private home life, with the sun highlighting that, yet at the same time something having to be released with your career, your profession, your life purpose, destiny. It might be the way that you're communicating. Are you communicating confidently? Do you need to communicate confidently? Also, I'm getting with that card a duality, perhaps. Be careful, because sometimes people mistake confidence for arrogance, and so you gotta kind of be mindful of that. And I'm saying this as a fellow air sign. An Aquarian here, like, I will get blamed for being arrogant. It's like, no, I've just done my homework. I know what I know what I know. Like, you can't talk me out of it. I mean, I'm pretty open-minded, but if you keep coming back with bunk, I'm going to tell you that's bunk. And people are like, "Oh, you're intellectually arrogant." I'm like, well, come talk to me when you've spent X amount of hours, as I have, studying that subject. Until then, don't call me, it's just a confidence in what we know, but maybe mistaken for arrogance. I don't know, that was for somebody, okay. By the way, Gemini, you might want to check out the Sagittarius reading, okay, your opposite, because there might be some mirroring going on there with their reading and yours, since y'all are opposites and you both are dealing with the same house as triggered, more or less. All right, let's move on to Cancer, and this lunar activity is impacting your 9th house, and the solar activity, the sun, has been in your 3rd house. So there's issues of what's near to you and what's distant to you, and also a lot about what you know versus what you believe. You know, basic education versus higher learning. Local things going on versus you know, long distance travel. So for you, it's almost like you're having to release something that is at a distance, or something that you believe in, or that you've put your faith in. You're having to release that. Please show me for Cancer. Okay, that one wants to pop out. Don't let pride get in your way. And again, perhaps, you know, something about the, you know, time of Leo season is relevant. Work through your fears. New moon in Scorpio. So, you know, perhaps a Leo or a Scorpio is relevant to you, but what I'm getting off these energies is there's something fixed, okay? Leo and Scorpio are fixed signs, and is there something very fixed in your belief or in your faith? And oh wow, I'm hearing this is a faith versus fear issue. Faith versus fear issue, okay, for some of you. And I'm also hearing intuitively where you're at versus where you want to be. So right now, the solar energy is really putting an emphasis on where you're at right now, but perhaps there's some place that you want to be that is way out there. That you're having to release that right now and focus on the here and now versus the something that is, maybe I'm hearing out of your reach, possibly that you feel it's out of your reach. And again, that might just be a fear that it's out of your reach. And I just heard not now. It's not necessarily a not and never, it's a not now is what I'm hearing for somebody, okay? I don't know where this pride issue is coming in. Okay, so it's interesting because it's kind of a little bit similar to Gemini, but in a different, there's a twist to it, right? That, you know, there's a confidence issue, and with Gemini I was saying sometimes people confuse confidence with arrogance. For you, I'm hearing that there is a confidence issue, but you have to be careful because the true path towards confidence is competence, not this puffed up, I can do it, you know, talking yourself up, puffing yourself up with a bunch of hot air, or having other people do that for you. It's competence. This is what I'm hearing. It's not about this prideful boasting or bragging, or it's competence, the substance, okay? Some of you have had trouble substantiating something or materializing something, bringing those ideals down to earth, manifesting them, those high beliefs or that higher knowledge. But the pathway I'm hearing is practicing confidence, okay? All right, let me move on to Leo, and you have this lunar activity impacting your 8th house, having to do with shared resources, death, taxes, other people's money, sex, intimacy, and the sun has been in your 2nd house. So we're talking about a lot of money houses, values, okay? I mean, if we're not outright talking about money, it's values. 2nd house is your personal values, and maybe, 8th house, what other people value, but it's affecting you, okay? Shared values versus your personal values. So let's see what Leo needs to release. What does Leo need to release? Oh, nothing will come of this situation. Adjustments are required was at the foundation. So we got void of course moon and 3rd quarter moon. I don't find that relevant. I'm not getting a hit off of that at all. Okay, but I am sensing that some of you, or maybe you wanted to join forces with someone. I'm getting a couple messages here. You wanted to join forces with somebody, and I'm hearing that you're going to have to release that. It's not going to come together at this time. I'm also getting another message that some of you have joined forces with somebody. Unfortunately, I don't know if the two of you share values. And so for this reason, you're going to have to make some adjustments. And I think this lunar activity is bringing that to the forefront. You're realizing, okay, what is and isn't going to work. And again, it might be with a very intimate relationship, but it also might simply have to do with your resources, your money, your possessions, and that involving another. And if it's not, if you're totally a single Pringle, this could be like the government, taxes, things like that. I'm also getting some of you with this 8th house stuff, like you've been dealing with some I'm hearing unhealthy, toxic fears of death. And some of you very overblown, and I'm not saying to throw caution to the wind. Each person has to do as, they feel led by spirit and within their own conscience, with your own health care. But there's a lot of overhyping of a lot of people are afraid of death right now. A lot of people. And I think that as time goes on, with this great awakening that we're currently in the midst of, it's going to become more common knowledge that a lot of this has been overhyped. There's been a lot of fear porn that people have been subjected to. And so please, again, especially with this moon conjunct Neptune, just don't get delusional, right? This could go either way of, you not taking something seriously that you ought to, because you've got this pie in the sky thinking that's not based or grounded in reality. But the other extreme is that you have totally exaggerated fears that are causing you to do things that are not healthy, that are actually more of a risk to your health. And maybe making you susceptible to people who are trying to coerce you or manipulate you into doing things that are actually more dangerous than what they're saying is the danger, okay? Be aware of that. Let's move on to Virgo. And Virgo, you have this lunar activity hitting your 7th house. Solar activity is in your 1st house. So, you're probably having to release something having to do with partnerships. Maybe a contract is ending. Oh, wow, you got several cards here, okay? Don't let your past hold you back. Oddly, Aries didn't, who got that? Aries or somebody? Don't let your past hold you back. All right, somebody got that and I've forgotten. Yeah, it was Aries. And oddly, Aries is like kind of reminiscent of first house, and that's what your solar activity is really highlighting right now. So interesting. Perhaps an Aries is relevant, or maybe go watch the Aries reading. I don't know. Show the world the real you, full moon in Aquarius. Well, we just had 2 full moons in Aquarius over the last 2 months. So think back to July and August. Was there something significant going on for you during July and August with the double full moons in Aquarius? You're being asked to be more authentic. You're being asked to dare to be the weirdo, the alien of the zodiac. And if anybody knows how to do it, it's Aquarius here, right? And maybe it's something about your past. And I don't know why this is coming to me, but a lot of times people are, they're doing a lot of perception management and a lot of PR, public relations, and then they don't want people to see things in their past and who they used to be, or, right, we deal with a lot of that. We deal with, particularly in this day and age with social media and people going online and creeping around and, well, who are you in your off time? And what do you do with your personal time? And then let me judge you and make a decision. Do I want to do business with you? Economic retribution, reprisals, all of this nasty stuff, okay? Tribalism, people being very judgmental and not getting to know the whole person, just a facet or a sliver of the person that they see on social media. I don't know why I'm on the spiel, but it's for somebody here, okay? Well, I'm getting the message is that what's empowering for you is if you not let your past or your authenticity hold you hostage anymore. Like, you need to release this stuff. You need to just come out and say, this is who I am. And if you don't want to do business with me, I know it's a risky thing. If you don't want to do business with me anymore, you don't like who I am, thanks for letting me know, because I want to make sure that I'm in relationship and in contract and in partnership with people who genuinely get me. Like, only the people who get me, get me. This is for somebody here, okay? Virgo, I'm hearing accept yourself. Accept yourself. All right, let's move on to Libra. And Libra, you might want to check out the Aries reading because there's a lot of mirroring between the two of you. Right now, you're dealing with this lunar activity in your 6th house. The solar activity has been in your 12th house. It's been, flip for Aries. But so right now, perhaps there's something you're having to release, having to do with your daily life, your health, your work habits, your productivity, your job. Something's having to be released. And the sun has really been illuminating more of your spiritual life. So you're releasing something that maybe seemed very down to earth and practical and something very much on the mundane. But, the solar activity has been highlighting your spirituality. And perhaps things going on, I'm getting a lot of stuff, things that have been hidden from you, okay? I'm getting that some of you maybe are realizing you need to release something that you've been doing on a day-to-day Spirit has been trying to show you over the last month or so that you have been sabotaging yourself in that respect. Let's see. Oh, I didn't want to go back down. Okay, hold your vision. Fixed moon. And I just heard Don't Dream It's Over. Another 80s song. Don't Dream It's Over. And your commitment is being tested is also at the foundation here. So, you know what I'm getting from this? To me, this is very, 12th house. Think about whatever it is that Spirit has been highlighting in your life over the last month or so. What has all the activity for you been around? Okay. What has your focus been on over the last month? You need to hold on to your vision for that future. Okay. But with this full moon, it's almost like you're being asked to release something, or you're having to release something, and I'm hearing that it's testing your resolve. It's testing your resolve. I'm hearing just don't dream it's over. It's not over. Just hold on, okay? That's for somebody out there. Scorpio. Well, we're going to move on to you, Scorpio, and you might want to look at the Taurus reading because there's some mirroring going on there. Right now, we've got the lunar activity hitting your 5th house. You've had a lot of solar activity in your 11th house, right? Taurus has kind of had the opposite. And so with this lunar activity in your 5th house, there's something that you're having to release, having to do with maybe children, creativity. Some of you may be dating, okay? Dating, yeah, I didn't even say that for Taurus. I hope Taurus watches this. Because, yeah, 5th house can be fun, dating, romance. There's something like you're having to release right now with that. And put a focus on 11th house matters having to do with friends, social activities, maybe gatherings online or offline. And for some of you, it's your dreams and your aspirations, maybe networking for work-related stuff. It just depends on what all is going on in your natal chart. But let's see for Scorpio what you need to release with this lunar activity. Almost got those. Let me see. I wasn't sure about it. Okay, that one was a jumper. I'm going to take that one. Oh, a fiery climax approaches. Holy crap. Full moon in Aries. All right. Perhaps the Aries reading is relevant to you, or the Libra reading is relevant to you. I don't know, just saying. And communication is key. New moon and Gemini. Might want to look at the Gemini reading. Okay. What I'm getting for you, ooh, oh goodness. So I don't know. Watch this communication. I'm seeing this could go one of two ways for you, Scorpio. I feel like if you're having to release something having to do with your childhood, there could be some, I'm hearing the word combative conversations going on. It could be quite explosive. Just be on the lookout for that. Or you know what? You might not blow a cork. Somebody else might. Or maybe nobody blows a cork, but you sure as heck want to. You sure as heck want to. There's something really explosive about this. And I'm hearing it's emotional. It's quite emotional. Okay, you having to release something having to do with your children or your childhood. I'm also getting another message that if you are dealing with a dating situation, if you are talking to someone, I don't know, I'm just hearing it's going to reach some kind of crescendo where you're going to be talking to this person and it just hits a whole nother level in the communications with this person. It could take the relationship to the next level. It could be very, very passionate. But again, just watch the passion because, right, sometimes that's spicy, you know, but other times it's like, I don't know, are we going to burn the bedroom down or we burn the whole house down, right? Like, don't let the fire get out of control. You know? Especially when we're talking about Aries here. My God. My God. Aries has been the death of me. Ugh. Fire. Raging infernos for better and worse. Watch out, okay? And yeah, it's with that mouth, right? Okay, so yeah, somebody might pop off. Just that's all I'm going to say about that. Let me move on to Sagittarius, and this lunar activity is hitting your 4th house of home, family, sense of belonging, Perhaps a mother or mother figure is relevant to you, or a Cancer maybe is in some way relevant to you. And recently, though, you've had a lot of 10th house stuff being highlighted. So go watch the Gemini reading your opposite. There could be some mirroring going on there because, you know, they're having the same houses triggered in an opposite way. And so Sagittarius, let's see what it is that you need to release at this time. What does Sagittarius need to release with this full moon in Pisces? Please show me for Sagittarius. What does Sagittarius need to release for the full moon in Pisces? I'm hearing it's very private and it doesn't want to come out. It's like, and I'm, ooh, oh goodness, and it's a lot. Shoot. There we go with the communication again. Oh my gosh, I've got so many for you. Okay. So these were upright. Don't let your past hold you back. Communication is key. Well, we had some other signs get that. I think Aries got it, and I'm losing track of who else got it. Okay, God help me. But you need to talk through some things in your past. And maybe again with your family of origin, with this being a release on your 4th house, okay? You need maybe to talk through some things from your past. Let's see what fell down. Have faith in your dreams. The energy is gaining momentum. Adjustments are required. Luck is on your side. Nothing is yet set in stone. What do you need to release? Okay. So a lot of messages here. I'm hearing that with these 2 cards, nothing is yet set in stone. Adjustments are required. Things are in flux. You can flex and flow with some things, but things are going to be speeding up for you, especially as we're coming into Sagittarius season, which is a couple months off, right? Yeah, November time frame. Yeah, we're not far off from your time. Okay, so, and I do feel like things are actually not only speeding up and moving forward, but also moving in your favor, Sagittarius. So don't lose faith in what you want for yourself, the dreams that you have for yourself. But you need to look at what needs to be released with your 4th house issues, okay? Like I said, having to do with home, family, sense of belonging. And I'm definitely getting maybe, yes, family of origin with that card popping up, that this is not, probably not necessarily your current residence, right, or your current family, but it's like a family of origin issue, or issues having to do with mothering, nurturing. All right, let's move on to Capricorn. And Capricorn, you have this lunar activity impacting your 3rd house. You've had solar activity on your 9th house. What that means is you're having to release something, maybe having to do with things going on, you know, involving neighbors, siblings, things in your local vicinity. By the way, you might want to check out the Cancer reading because that's your opposite, and there's some mirroring going on. Right, they've got similar houses being triggered, but it's opposite. All right, so that might help you just to listen to that. But anyway, you're having to release something maybe having to do with what you know, the facts, okay? And what's really being highlighted by Spirit right now is that higher knowing, the beliefs. Take time to breathe out. You know, Taurus got that. I'm trying to like feel into this, and I'm getting a different vibe off of this card than I got with Taurus. I'm hearing ebbs and flows is what I'm hearing with that. And I'm hearing that song from the 80s, Seasons Change. Seasons change. by the Bangles. I don't know why I'm getting all, because I don't really listen to that music, but it's just coming to me. It's for somebody, okay? A time for healing. All right, so I'm hearing time out. Time out, Capricorn. You need to work through something. You know, and I'm hearing you need to work with the cycles, the ebbs and the flows of life. There's a time to get up and work and be productive, and there's a time to take a time out and rest and recover and recharge. And I'm sensing that right now is the time for you to rest, recover, and recharge. And it might, again, have to do with some relationships that you have with neighbors or siblings or people that you're dealing with on the day-to-day. And you're being asked to reassess what you believe, your beliefs against what you know, the facts versus the beliefs, the facts versus the faith. Something is having to be assessed. And I think that's another reason why it's a timely pull back and draw in, because I'm getting almost like a meditative state. I'm seeing like a Four of Swords. Like, you know, this is not really a time to talk or take action. It's to pull back and reevaluate, reassess, recharge, all the re's, especially with all these retrograde energy that we're in right now. We've got like 6 planets in retrograde, okay? All right, let's move on to the Aquarians. And yeah, hi to my fellow Aquarians. And yeah, if you're an Aquarius rising, definitely this might help you. And also, my Aquarians, you might want to check out the Leo reading, because that's our opposite. And our opposite Leo is dealing with similar houses, the same houses being affected right now. But in an opposite way. So there's some kind of mirroring that's probably going on with our opposite sign, Leo. Might want to check that video out. But yes, for us, we are dealing with having to release something in the second house, having to do with personal values, possessions, self-worth, your money, your income. These are money houses. And the sun has been really highlighting other people's money, shared resources, taxes maybe, intimacy, like a spouse's money, or an inheritance. So let's see what it is that you're having to release, Aquarius. I personally feel lately that, you know, I'm resonating more with my rising, my Taurus rising, but there's a part of me that just, yeah, I do feel this money stuff coming up, and I can't stand it. Like I've been through a lot of similar energies that have been affecting my money houses, and not a fan of it. But let's see what the cards have to say. What do we need to release? Okay, we'll take them. We'll take them. It was a lot, but we'll take them. Surrender to the divine. Full moon. Absolutely. Just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. You know, and that's where I'm at. We're now hands up in the air. Whatever. Whatever. I've done what I've done. I can. My conscience is clear. What will be, will be. You know? I mean, if I go down fighting and I still lose, well, you know, hey, I did my best. That's all I can say. I did my best. I did what I could. Woo! A win-win outcome is forecast. Love that. Full moon in Libra. So yes, perhaps during Libra season, you know, that, and we're getting into it. So maybe, yes, I'm getting like during a time frame of, you know, the last week, yeah, last half of September into October, there's going to be some win-win solution that's going to come out for you. But look, you're having to release something and just kind of surrender to the divine plan. Let me look at what's down underneath on the foundation. You and your loved ones are safe, new moon in Cancer. So Cancer might be relevant. Libra might be relevant as well. But what I'm getting out of this is just let it go. Okay. Some of you are very much trying to control outcomes. And no matter, and I've dealt with this myself, like no matter how much you try to like get control of the situation, things outside of your control keep just right. Like I just invested a lot of money into my business, doing business offline, doing face-to-face traditional business, and putting less of a focus on my online work, okay? And put up a bunch of money to do an event in another city, and they canceled on me and said sorry, and they're not going to give me my money back. And some of it I just can't recover. And so my concern is like, you know, if you're going through something similar to that, it's like you keep investing and trying to like, I don't know, stop the leak in your boat, so to speak. But the more you try to stop the leak, another leak springs, you know? And I think that if you are dealing with those type of energies, particularly having to do with your money, your resources, your possessions, your values, your self-worth, the message here is that you're safe, it's gonna be okay, and a win-win outcome is coming, and I'm seeing, you know, by the end of September and even into October, things could be worked out. But in the meantime, you gotta surrender and release to knowing that what will be will be. And all you can do is your best. That's all you can do. And if your best ain't good enough, well, just go to sleep with your conscience clear, right? That's all you can do. All right, let's move on to Pisces. And Pisces, might want to check out your opposite sign, Virgo, because there's some mirroring going on here. And wow, I've already got, did it fly away? Shoot, I think it did. Where did it go? Hold on. It's hidden from me. Oh, God. I don't even see it. Now that's making me think that I'm being delusional because I can't even see it, and I thought for sure there was one that flew away. And now I don't even see it anywhere. Okay, so I'm going to pull another card, and if I find that card later after I film, I will post it. Pisces, I will post it on my community page, so make sure that you've hit the bell for notifications so that you're notified of whenever I put posts on my community page. All right, I'm going to pull another card. Are you thinking that is this full moon making you like kind of scattered or delusional? Like, wait a minute, didn't I just see that happen? That didn't happen? What happened there? Where did my stuff go? You know, like, woo, it could be very scattering energy, okay? Very scattering energy. You need to protect your energy is what I'm getting intuitively, Pisces. Right now, what you're having to release is something first house related, having to do with yourself, your image, the way you come across to others out in the world. Even though the sun has been in your 7th house, really highlighting, you know, others, what's going on with others. Partnerships, maybe business, marriage, long-term partnerships, commitments, okay? So it's this whole axis of self versus other. So let's see what Pisces needs to release during this full moon in Pisces. That's Pisces. Something about, okay, that one I'm feeling those too, all right? A new start is coming. Well, praise God, hallelujah. Hope it's a good one. Show the world the real you. Oh, ooh, this is similar to Virgo, your opposite. I'm telling you, go watch the Virgo. All right, they were being told to be authentic, all right? But for you, I feel like is there something going on with a new you? Some of you might be getting, I'm hearing like a makeover, or you're something about your image. Are you like revamping your image? You're like something about your image. If it's not like the aesthetics, it's gonna be like, this is a side of yourself that you haven't really shown to other people. And again, there might be some relevance about the last 2 months, the full moon in Aquarius, double full moons in Aquarius that came up in July and August. Think about that time frame. How are you coming across to others, Pisces? Perhaps, and this is kind of, this is what I'm getting, this a little intuitive hit, is that some of you, there's maybe something about your image that you're doing an overhaul on, because you're realizing that you have projected something out there that is not serving you. It's maybe serving as a stumbling block. Right, I've got a lot of Pisces placements, and I will say that this thought has entered my head many times, because I'm a Taurus rising, so I come off looking very straight-laced and conservative, which to some degree I am conservative, but at the same time, like, I've got so much Aquarius and Pisces, like, so I will attract these people that look very like straight-laced. But then when they get to talking to me and get to knowing me, we're like, they realize like I'm this very different person than what my image projects. So I am not in any way telling you how to project your image. I think the message here is be mindful of what kind of people you're attracting in your life. And right, I went through this process within myself of, well, so this is why I'm attracting these people who making me feel weird, because they see me like I don't know, like I'm very earthy, and I'm actually a lot of air and water. And then it's not compatible, and it's almost like it's a bait and switch type, and I'm not intending to do it, but and then I met people, conversely, like online, who I really click with spiritually and intellectually, but then you meet them in person, and this is like, again, how they present themselves and how I present myself looks like we're an odd couple. Like, what would you even have to do with this person? For each person, this is going to be different. I'm not exactly sure how it applies to you. I'd say during this full moon in Pisces tonight, you need to pray about it, meditate on it, and look at what it is that you need to release about yourself, your image, how you're projecting yourself out in the world. How is it impacting your current relationships that have been illuminated over the last 2 to 3 months? Spirit has been trying to show you something about this, okay? Is there something that you can release because you realize it's not serving you and others, and it brings about this new beginning in yourself, whether it's aesthetically or internally? Deep stuff, deep stuff. Okay, and get your rest. My gosh, get your rest. I'm going to say that because I don't know if you heard me earlier with all my Pisces placements. This lunar energy is draining me, okay? Draining me. So finally, we are at the homework assignment portion. And let me say this for all of you collectively. Number one, good time to set any decks you have or crystals out. Let them, do an energetic release and clear in the moonlight tonight. I'm definitely going to be doing that. But for yourself, I think that a good spiritual homework assignment is to look at these relationships, because with all this Libra energy, that's what's being highlighted. The relationships, and maybe relationships that have been draining and disempowering. And as you're looking at these relationships, really take a moment to settle into a quiet space and say within yourself and to God, Spirit, I release any draining and disempowering attachments in my life to people, things, relationships. I release draining and disempowering attachments. And then say within yourself and with Spirit, I break these attachments with love and compassion. I release them with love and compassion, and I declare them released. And if you have a Christian background, as I do, and you believe in the power of the name of Jesus, you can say that. In Jesus' name, I break these attachments. I break these cords, and I release them in Jesus' name. And then you ask Spirit, you ask Holy Spirit for a return of all your power, all your energy that you feel has been drained from you. And yeah, let it go. Let it go, all right? And let Spirit do Spirit's work, all right? And then notice over the next couple days and weeks, particularly as we're in all this retrograde, especially Mercury retrograde on the 26th, notice any people who are coming back from your past, whether they're, returning physically to you or in your dreams. Notice the people from your past that are being brought back to you, and really think about this. How has this person drained me or disempowered me? What role did I play in that? Did I self-sabotage? Did I give my power away? How can I relate to this person in the future in a way that protects my own personal power while at the same time empowering them? And if that's not possible, how do I maintain healthy boundaries and stay in my power, knowing that my energy is mine, it's for me, and that I only give energy to that which I choose to give energy to. And hopefully it's things that are empowering you, okay? And so that's it. That's all I have for now. And wow, been on here for quite a while, but I hope that it's been a blessing to all of you. And I hope you have a really good full moon in Pisces. Be blessed.